Week 24 Day 1. Primitive magic. In the course of their studies of other cultures, anthropologists have reported numerous customs and practices that seem bizarre to the average American. Many primitive people believe that certain inanimate objects have a will of their own and possess some magical powers. These fetishes may be simple things like a particular feather of a bird or a unique pebble. The fetish might have derived its power, according to members of some tribes, from a god who lives within the object and has changed it into a thing of magic. Fetishes need not only be natural objects, however. An artifact such as a sculpture or carving is also believed to possess supernatural powers. Sample sentences. 1. Stones are inanimate objects that have no life of their own. 2. It has been suggested that the man who builds a better mousetrap will find the world beating a path to his door to possess this artifact. 3. The explorers saw the golden statue and thought of how much money it would bring them. But their lives would be in danger if they moved it because it was a powerful fetish to the natives. 4. Margaret Mead, the famous anthropologist, fascinated thousands of readers with her studies of South Seas Islanders. 5. It would be rather bizarre for a young man to come to school wearing a dress. Week 24 Day 2. Forbidden. An outgrowth of the idea of a fetish is the closely related practice of taboo. Whereas the gods or supernatural powers merely inhabit an object that is a fetish and lend it magic, they will punish the imprudent native who violates their prohibition of an act or use of an object or word that has become taboo. If a taboo has been broken, it becomes imperative for the offender to be punished. In many cases, however, the taint on the community may be removed after the priests have performed a special ceremony. Often, the violator of the taboo will be punished or die merely through his own fears of the terrible thing he has done. Sample sentences. 1. Unsanitary conditions in the bottling factory caused hundreds of cases of soda to be tainted by dirt and foreign objects. The health department refused to allow the soda to be sold. 2. Although a New Jersey high school principal placed a prohibition on boys wearing their hair long, one student fought in the courts and won his case. 3. It is considered imprudent to give your computer code word to anyone not fully known to you. 4. It is taboo for certain South Seas Islanders to eat some foods before they marry. 5. In the nuclear age it has become imperative for the nations of the world to learn to live in peace. Week 24 Day 3. An absurdity. Although it is probably universal human behavior, to be contemptuous of the bizarre superstitions, practiced by inhabitants of unfamiliar cultures. It seems to be somewhat imprudent to laugh at others, before one takes a good, hard look at the absurd taboos and fetishes one accepts as part of one's everyday life. Isn't it somewhat absurd when the dyed-in-the-wool bigot, who illogically fears the taint of close association with blacks, behavior that resembles fear of a taboo, spends most of the summer lying in the sun trying to acquire the color he claims to abhor? Since doctors tell us that excessive sun tanning may be a cause of skin cancer, our strange yearning for sun-darkened skin has all the qualities of a fetish. Sample sentences. 1. Bob felt contemptuous of his best friend after he saw him cheating during an exam. 2. The teacher felt like laughing after he heard Sally's absurd excuse for not having done her homework. 3. One politician, a notorious bigot, hopes to get support as a presidential candidate on the basis of his prejudices and intolerance. 4. I abhor someone who is constantly changing channels with a remote while I'm trying to read in the same room. 5. Would relations between countries be simpler if a universal language were spoken rather than hundreds of separate ones? Week 24 Day 4. Gesundheit. During the Middle Ages, most people believed that the devil could enter our bodies when we sneezed, because at that propitious moment we left our bodies vulnerable. However, this catastrophic event could be avoided, if another person immediately made an entreaty to God. This was how the practice began of saying, "God bless you," after someone sneezes. Although the tradition continues today, few people are aware of its history. A superstition originates in ignorance, when people are unsure of the causes of events. But it continues inviolable over the years, because it usually represents our deepest fears. Sample sentences. 1. Some bad habits originate in adolescence and continue throughout a person's life. 2. The murderer made an entreaty to the governor for a pardon. 3. Despite the inexorable torture, 007 kept the inviolable secret of the labyrinth leading to the underground headquarters. 4. It appears that many computers are vulnerable to viruses that can cause great damage. 5. Eskimos have a tradition of rubbing noses to show affection.